How did I get into this mess? I really don't know how. We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life. I've got to rest before I fall apart. My joints are almost frozen. Beep, 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 boop, 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 boop. What a desolate place this is. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Where are you going? Well, I'm not going that way. It's much too rocky. This way it's much easier. What makes you think there are settlements over there? Beep, 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 boop, 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 boop. Don't get technical with me. Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. What mission? What are you talking about? I've just had about enough of you. Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile. Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. And don't let me catch you following me begging for help, because you won't get it. No more adventures. I'm not going that way. That malfunctioning little twerp. This is all his fault. He tricked me into going this way, but he'll do no better. Wait! What's that? A transport! I'm saved! Over here! Help! Please! Help!
All right.
And scene.
That was fun. At first I was like, is that the wind blowing around? I was like, what is that? And then I got the beep boop beep boop. So, what movie? I know it's Star Wars, obviously, but which one?
That is A New Hope.
Okay.
Episode 4.
Listen, I'm not there yet in my watching of Star Wars.
You
again.
should have been there when you were 3 years old, okay?
Listen, okay, I'm starting from scratch.
A New Hope is like the most watched movie of all time.
I'm starting from scratch, okay? First I have to make it through the Clone Wars animated series, and then I can pick up with episode 3 and move on to...
It's like the one Star Wars movie that you... It's probably like the most classic Star Wars movie.
And Ileana, you don't move on from Clone Wars to episode 4. You go to...
No, episode 3.
Yeah, sorry, you don't... Excuse me. I'm being terribly rude. I'm eating dinner. Okay. Anyway, you don't move on from Clone Wars or, episode 3 to Clone Wars after, to episode 4. You watch Rogue Squadron. Or not Rogue Squadron. Oh my gosh. The name just escaped me.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yes, you watch Rogue One followed by Solo.
I know. I misspoke. I know. Hunter
no,
has
you
it
don't
all
watch Rogue One and then Solo.
Out.
You watch
Yes, you
Solo and then Rogue One.
Because then episode 4 happens after Rogue One.
Yeah. You right.
Either way,
I misspoke.
Hunter has it all mapped out for me. I just misspoke too.
But it's like
a bad start.
I just can't believe you've never seen any of episode 4, the biggest movie of all time.
I've never sat down and watched the entire thing in one sitting though.
Boo.
Okay.
I have seen it in bits and pieces here and there throughout my life, and I understand the story, obviously. But I have never sat through the whole thing in one sitting. So, that being said, welcome back to another episode of Bump That. This is our 60th episode, guys. 60 episodes, and we're still here, and we will still be there for you, always and forever.
In another 60 episodes.
I will be here for you. Yeah, we're going to be friends, okay? So, if you guys don't know who we are, we've got Brian in this corner.
R2-D2, it is you!
And we've got KT in this corner.
Don't be a nerf herder.
And I am Ileana, your host. I don't know what that means.
You scruffy-headed nerf herder! Well, who's scruffy looking?
Yeah.
You're
yeah,
good
that's just a bit of general advice. Don't be a nerf herder in life. Just don't.
But anyways, we are siblings who have a love for nerdy things, video games, animation, whatnot, and decided to talk about it on the internet, and here you are listening. So, welcome! We have a controversial episode, people. Usually I say quite an episode, but I'm going to skip the crap. It's going to be controversial today, okay? We're going to be into the nitty gritty, all right? Turning Red came out last week, and we've got some things to say. However, before that, we're going to get into our news. Universal Studios Hollywood is getting its Super Nintendo World. Does that mean Universal Studios Orlando is next? Is there any news?
So. There's no news, but I believe that it's just a matter of time before
I thought
Orlando
that was already
gets
a thing.
It may be, but we're hearing officially that it's coming to California, which I'm sorry, you Californians, you Californians, you're sort of like Florida. You guys sort of rope, in the same area. You guys are gonna California it up, and it'll be like, oh, it's not so magical anymore.
What do you mean
Just
by
treat
that?
it with respect. Oh, you're gonna have like the bums camped about, like around it, and it's like, oh, yeah, mushrooms.
What?
California? No, bad taste.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brian.
Remember that, like, California has that stigma of, like, whoa.
Like they're all surfer dudes kind of people?
Well, in a
No.
manner of speaking.
Or do you mean like leaf users?
Leaf users.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they use that leaf that turns them into the tanuki.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so do you think that's gonna taint it? What are you trying to say?
No, I'm literally just joking.
Okay.
I'm just messing around. No,
But dang it,
No, it's gonna be
California gets everything. It's so unfair. Give it to Florida so us West Coast people can have something. Cause
we're on the
goodness
East Coast, you
gracious-
moron.
Sorry. I misspoke. You're so mean tonight. You were so crabby.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to eat my supper.
I'm gonna kick her off the show. She called me a moron.
Yeah,
I know
moron.
we're on the East Coast. I just misspoke again.
Listen, we're all misspeaking tonight. It's okay.
But
If you haven't clicked away now, please click away.
Hey, how'd they know I was on? They didn't know I was on the East Coast. I don't know. Anyways, but yes, us
Anyway.
East Coast people could use some love. All we got over here is SeaWorld, Hershey Park, Six Flags,
We've got Disney World.
Whitewater.
No, what needs to happen is it needs to it needs to go to a different state. Why does everything happen in Florida?
That's true. Why can't it be like, South Carolina? They've only got is Outer Banks in North Carolina? What even is Outer Banks?
So all the islands and lighthouses out there.
Man, they need an amusement park to make it interesting. They've got Busch Gardens.
Yeah, man, you're all about the money. That's all it is. So taking in the natural wonders of life. You're like, how could we make money off of this?
So, okay, forget Florida. No one
you
wants
need
to
a
go to
Dippin'
Florida
Dot stand
anyways.
right over here. And
Nice.
No one wants to go to Florida anyways. It's hot. People are annoying there. There's alligators. All right. No one wants to go to that crap hole.
Man, the stereotyping that you and I are doing tonight is off the chain.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
unreal.
there's going to be some other things going on
Let's
in this
keep
episode.
it going.
Like I said, it's controversial, man. All right. But hopefully Orlando does get theirs because, Universal Studios is in Orlando. That would be great if they got their own Nintendo World so none of us have to go to Hollywood or Japan. So,
I mean, that's a great excuse to go to Japan, personally, but
I was in Japan and I would have loved to go to the Miyazaki Museum or something. Or even the Disney World that they have over there, Disneyland or something. That would have been super cool, but didn't get to do that. But anyways,
Bummer.
do we want to get into this now? Because it's literally at the top of
wait,
our
let's
list.
do some other
no.
news.
Okay, good.
There's-
You had
What about the other news? You totally forgot.
Well, no, Turning Red is literally the second topic.
We weren't gonna say Obi-Wan trailer. I mean, let's get
we're
those out of
doing
the way.
that now. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, I'm saying
There was no misspeaking this time.
I was asking a question. I'm like, do we want to get into this right away? Because gosh, it's gonna be long. So let's just go ahead, put that towards the bottom of our news segment. Obi-Wan trailer, yay or nay? Does anybody care?
More like a yeesh.
Yeesh, what is that?
Like, yeah.
Like,
look, all
you're
I'm saying is,
interested, but not super.
look, all I'm saying is, I am interested, but the trailer didn't do any favors to anybody. It looked really stiff, boring, more Tatooine. If you've been watching Mandalorian, Boba Fett, a lot of it takes place in Tatooine, so we're gonna be more Tatooine.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, let's. You know, I can hear a lot when people say, "Let's go explore the rest of the galaxy." I
That's
get
what
that,
I'm
I
saying.
understand it. You know,
Absolutely.
but the thing is, they mentioned, and a lot of all the stuff we've been hearing about the new Obi-Wan show, Hayden Christensen is in it. He's coming back as Darth Vader.
Oh, interesting.
There was nothing of Darth Vader in it, and that's kind of the big thing. Like, I need at least one.
No,
You know,
I think I'm
at
gonna
least
pull.
one. You know,
Just to like grab
I'm-
you in.
I'm gonna pull a Brian and say that's part of the suspense. Maybe like from the Batman, like or they're trying to keep it under wraps. You know, people may know that he's going to be in it, but they don't want to reveal anything. You know what I mean?
But even
but then they already showed like a still. They already showed like a still of the new series with him in it. It's like, and they have like an Inquisitor, if you played what's that Star Wars game that came out recently? Star Wars Fallen
Order? No.
Fallen
Jedi
Order?
or
No, Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the Inquisitors, like the High Inquisitors, which are sent out from the Emperor to go wipe out any remaining Jedi in the galaxy. So they got that going, but I just I don't know. Ewan McGregor looks great. I'm all for him, but it's just I don't know. I'm not as pumped up as I thought it would be.
I don't really. I want to be, because I did like Obi-Wan in the movie, the second movie, I think it was. Yeah, he was fine, but as a character, I honestly still don't really care either.
No, Obi-Wan is great. What?
I feel like he was more interesting when
Have
he
you
was
seen
older.
Revenge of the Sith yet?
I saw it in theater way back when. Like, literally
Well,
when
whenever
when it
you
came
watch
out.
it with Homeboy Hunter, you'll be like, oh yeah, this guy is great. Because in Revenge of the Sith, Ewan McGregor really comes to his own as Obi-Wan, and he's
Okay.
an awesome character. So just watch that one with your man, and then you'll be like, oh, okay.
Obi-Wan's not so bad. No, I want like a young Yoda show.
I've been wanting that too.
I
He's
think
got
that'd be super
900
cool.
years of content.
Like,
for goodness sake.
Okay, I know we have the baby Yoda, and we have
It's
adult...
not even the same Yoda.
Exactly, and we have adult Yoda. I want like
Adolescent Yoda.
No, not adolescent. I want young adult Yoda.
I want adolescent.
I want some Yoda on Yoda action, is what you're saying. I want Yoda in love.
Whoa. No, none of that. You're done.
Oh my gosh, I just had a thought. Oh my gosh. Star Wars Episode 2, but the field scene, it's with like two Yodas. One's a female Yoda, one is a male Yoda. They're just like... They're just having
Love
a
you, I
romantic-
do.
Maybe actually I don't want a Yoda show. I might take that back.
Marry me. You cannot. That is against Jedi code.
Oh my
The code.
gosh.
Screw it.
Well, moving on so we can get to Turning Red, because I know that's what everybody is waiting to hear. PlayStation State of Play reveals a trailer for Hogwarts Legacy with a glimpse of gameplay. Being scheduled for March 17th. That's today. So, at 5 o'clock, that went live. Whatever that is. A glimpse. So...
Yeah, so the PlayStation State of Play, it goes in depth with games that they're releasing soon. Or, you know, just showcasing what they've got. This is actually the second State of Play. They had a full State of Play, which was basically showing off what they were doing. I didn't watch it. Sorry, we don't do a whole... Well, Brian's the PlayStation guy, so he should have...
Well, I'm also not a huge Harry... I like Harry Potter, but I'm not, like, a humongous fan, you know? So I'm kind of just like, eh.
Even if you're not a fan, this game looks great. I'm hoping that what we saw in the trailer included gameplay. Now, I will say, you think Arceus was laggy.
Oh,
there was some parts in this trailer that I thought, oh, that's still rendering.
Ooh.
Like that, yeah. It looked just like
PlayStation.
On PlayStation 5.
Wow.
So
I'm
I don't
surprised
know
to hear that.
I don't know if it's because it's a live game, like a live service game. I don't know if that's the case. So I don't know, but it was just very interesting. Go back and watch the trailer because you can see it. Some of the scenery, yeah, they just sort of like have that phasey kind of thing,
Yeah, where they just kind of pop in a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Ooh.
That's interesting. But nonetheless, it looks awesome.
That's
like
good.
really, really cool.
I know those Harry Potter fans will just be squealing. I loved Lego Harry Potter.
Yeah, that was the best.
It was awesome. It was so much fun. So I bet they're really excited to get like a... Is it open world type of thing?
I think so, yeah.
That'd be really
I think what I've
interesting.
seen is that you can visit... You're in Hogwarts, and you can visit the whole castle and Hogsmeade. Hogsmeade? What's that? Well, let me tell you. But you can visit all the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and
That'd be pretty
all
interesting.
the lore.
I'd like to see some gameplay. I'd love that.
The Room of Requirement.
All right. Well, when is that game scheduled to come out? Does it have a release date yet?
Allegedly at the end of this year. It was supposed to come out last year. In fact, the trailer still has the date as being 2021. I had to do a double take on that. I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Fire that guy that didn't change it.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, what year are we in? Let me double check that first. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's wrong. So, yeah, allegedly it's coming out towards the end of this year. So, I don't know if that's going to be PlayStation's big holiday title, but if it is, cool. It looks really, really good. So,
you know what?
I don't know. Don't say it.
Bump that will be there for that game.
No, we won't, because none of us have a PlayStation 5 yet.
No, but I'll watch a YouTuber or something play it.
Oh,
and, get some info from different YouTubers that play it. Oh, that was weird. My dog just barked.
Bless you.
Yeah. Also, that's news. My mom and I got a new dog. Her name is Lulu. She's a mutt from the animal shelter. So, welcome, Lulu. Yay, Lulu. But anyways, it's time. Speaking of animals, this is about to be one. A wild one.
Okay, so little disclaimer. This is going to go into controversial topics. Please understand, we are not trying to discriminate or have any kind of weird... Don't put words in our mouths, okay? Because we're not, us, we're not those
Nobody here is sexist. Nobody here is racist. And there's two women just here. So.
Yeah, and we're not being elitist or anything. We're
just
any
talking
kind of
straight up.
We are giving our opinion, and it is our opinion alone. Okay, so don't freak out.
Yeah.
Dang.
And we have educated opinions. We've been watching this crap all our lives.
Yeah. So, who wants to start us off? First one.
I think Brian should.
First it goes. The first question is, how was Turning Red?
Okay. So my family and we all watched together, all four of us, 2 little girls, my wife, who's a lady, and me, a man, watched it. I enjoyed the film for what it was. I truly did. Was it as great as everybody's saying that it's the second coming of Pixar? No, absolutely not. Not even close. On par, I would say it's probably the best movie that Illumination Studios has made.
Oh.
And I'm gonna actually point that out. Joanna made that point. She said like this movie does not look like a Pixar movie. Does not feel like it has the same level of humor and jokes as a Pixar movie. The animation is not Pixar quality.
Wow.
It's good, but I mean, just like we've been saying beforehand, we've been talking about the animation is so different. It's more blocky and rounded than that traditional Pixar style. So, and yeah, the comedy, the humor is a lot of jokes don't land. Don't land. But I did like the story. I love the voice acting. It was a really fun movie. But it's just, is it better than Luca? It's probably about the same. It's probably about the same. The movie is not original. It is not an original film. Lots of different stories like this have been told. I feel like Luca is so close to this movie, so very close. And again, I think it's one of those things that whenever Pixar, other than the Incredibles films, which deal with people, whenever a Pixar film deals with people, it's not as sharp or outside the box as their other films. You look at the best of Pixar, there are films that really go outside the box with different kinds of characters. While I'm all for an Asian cast and that representation and hearing these kind of stories and everything, I just feel like it just wasn't the best story that I've heard, So that's just kind of me. It was a good movie. It just wasn't a great movie. It is not an out of this world top 10 Pixar film.
How many times have you seen it now?
Just the once.
Okay,
just one
me
time
too.
for me.
Kate, you've always seen it once as well?
Yeah, I've always seen one.
Okay, good. So we're all on the same page. Have you given it a grade yet, Brian?
If I was to give it a grade, it would be a B-.
Okay, that's higher than I thought.
I was thinking the same. I was thinking the exact same.
I was thinking you would give it a C, so that's higher than I expected. I'm glad.
It was between a C+ and B-, and I'm giving it because I am on the side that I do like seeing films with different ethnic cast. I'm not, because I can still understand those stories, just because people are a different culture or different, different color or whatever, different race, that doesn't throw me off. I can still attach myself to, I can still find relevance. And I think that's what a lot of the controversy is that white people aren't finding any relevance with this story just because it's set in an Asian culture in Canada or whatever, but all that. But to me, that's just silly. It's still a story about a girl going through puberty, which we've all gone through, and how embarrassing that is and everything. I don't know if white people's puberty was all amazing and perfect and everything, and they grew up like that, nice, but I still find the film has a lot of charm with that, and the storytelling is on a decent level. It just doesn't have that, pop, crackle, bang, snap, crackle, pop of regular Pixar.
So, Kate, how was Turning Red for you then?
So, as I'm going to explain this as the film that I saw. No other things to hinder my opinion of that. It was a good movie. Exactly what Brian said. It was enjoyable. It was fun. I watched it with Wesley. Wesley, even though it was dealing with, girl issues, Wesley was laughing at a lot of things, like the cringiness of the mom, moments with the dad. He was, really enjoying that. Even the girlfriends, he was, finding them to be really funny and cute. And so he and I both enjoyed those aspects. For me, I think it was way over the top. And I get, they're trying to be that spastic preteen, teenager, attitude, energy kind of thing. I think I was thinking a lot about this movie and how it closely relates to the Mitchells versus the Machines. Because Mitchells versus Machines is crazy energy. But I think that was more balanced. And so with this one, it was just one scene after another where it's just nonstop, like, movement. That made it hard to follow. And it made it hard for me to really appreciate the characters to the level that I wanted. In addition to that, I like most of the characters. I think the mom was a little over the top. And the dad didn't get as much airtime as I think that he should have gotten. I'm sure there's a cultural thing there that I don't know about. I also think the grandma and the aunts could have had a little bit more involvement. It also reminded me a little bit of Encanto, where we have this family dynamic of how important family is, and not understanding and having this problem with communication, and like the mom being the grandma in Encanto, and oh my gosh, the names escape me. Just the girls, switching roles. It's like copy paste almost. But I don't know, as a film of just how it is, it's a good, fun film. Something interesting is that on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 95. The audience score is a 72. And
Wow.
I agree completely that it was getting way too much praise for what it is. My favorite aspect is the design of, not of the characters, but the scene, like the scenery, the communities. It was so detailed. I don't think it was as detailed as Soul, but there were just so many little parts put together to make it look like an actual community that was, very intricate. So I really like that. I like the art design of that. So that's my humble opinion. It's a good movie. It's not even top 15, I don't think, of the Pixar films though.
Yeah. Wow. Oh boy. What do I have to say about it?
Yeah, tell us.
I am on the Rotten Tomato side. I loved the film. And this is like completely differing to you guys. And I'm glad that we have different opinions, because I absolutely adored this movie. And I could tell that it was a love story to, your adolescence, your childhood type of thing. You're just, you have that part in your life, and then it's just gone. And then you remember it in little flashbacks and whatever. And so for the director to make this movie pretty much about herself, and I know I'm getting into like the underneath of it, and I'll get to like the general in a minute, but it really was just her making her story with a twist of the red panda, so I think it was mostly her story that we could relate to. So now speaking generally, all of these girls, every girl has gone through this before and will go through this. So, to finally initiate that type of conversation, like, your body will change, your, attitudes will change, you'll become hormonal, you'll become moody, whatever. You're going to go through these changes when you hit that age. It was so funny, just the take that they had on it, where whenever she gets excited, she just turns into this big fluffy panda. And then the fact that she was like, always crying and brushing herself with the hairbrushes. I'm stinky and I'm ugly. It's so cute. So that's exactly what you feel like during that time in your life. And you feel fat and you feel all this and that. And so it was nice to see, the cute aspect of it. You're not as ogreish as you may feel. You're still adorable. You're still cute. You just have like the growing pains or whatever. And then to have her quirky best friends, because my goodness, okay, I was May growing up, I loved the boy bands. I had the posters. I had my K-pop boys that I was in love with. So they were the Four Townies, and I thought that was super adorable, very cute. She drew fan art and tried to hide it from her mom, and that scene was hilarious. I cracked up because I'm like, gosh, haven't we done that all before, where you fantasize about this guy that you like, and then you start like doodling his name or drawing pictures, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta put this away somewhere.
I will interject there and say that I had cringy notebooks too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they weren't specifically about boys.
Yeah.
They were just about life in general.
Oh,
and they were just as cringy. So
and I had the same thing. I would draw like maybe an anime character and be like, do I love him? And that's exactly what you do as just a girl,
Is Goku really that good looking? whoa, I didn't notice
is
before.
Is he my type?
Whoa. It's like Trunks? What?
Whoa. So every little girl goes through that.
Trunks
whenever they're at
understands me.
And then you've got your girlfriends that help you out that are like just as nerdy and geeky as you are, and you feel, on top of the world when you're with them. No one else can, intercede in your bubble. I loved when the one little boy, Tyler, was calling them out, and she was like, talked back to him so quickly, snapped at him like, I don't care what you have to say. I'm like, that's perfect. When you're with your friends, you have that confidence. Even if you are the nerdiest, geekiest looking girl ever, when you're with your girlfriends, you feel on top of the world. And that's exactly what it felt like watching that film. And the colors! Gosh, I'm not even talking about what the movie looks like. The colors were so vibrant and beautiful. The shapes were fun. Yeah, it was kind of strange looking for a Pixar film, but I'm okay with the style changing every now and then. Good Dinosaur did that, where it looked all weird and kind of like the teeth stuck out so much. Luca kind of had that too, where it was just like very teethy and very like odd shapes, not characteristic of Pixar. So I was okay with the change. I'm fine with, creative differences in these films. They don't all have to look cookie cutter Pixar, So I was okay with this difference and this change, and it being maybe a simple story, but it being one that we can all relate to, whether you're Asian or not, or a girl or not. You will go through that change. So those are my 2 cents on that film. Anybody else got anything else they want to add before we get into the controversy part?
I will say this. They did the Friends really well. And this may lead into the controversy, I'm not sure. But they are what real friends should be. I was getting this maybe, I don't know, maybe Brian can chime in with this. This reminded me of Stand By Me, where you had this girl who, was going through something in terms of Stand By Me. It would be Gordy, where he was going through something, and he had oh my gosh, what's his name? River Phoenix. What's his name?
Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Chris Chambers.
So Chris would be the girl that was more in green, that had the braces. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names today. Where she was like so quick to stand up for her friend. Like, they were the best. They were best friends. You could tell. Like, the other 2 girls were there as her best friends, but that was the bestest of the best friends. And that was really cool to me, because I could relate having, a group of about 3 or 4 girls that I would be a part of, whether I was in middle school or high school. There was just 3 or 4 of us. So that's a good number. And, it was the same thing. So having somebody in your corner that would just jump like that is nothing but being a good friend. And it doesn't have to go past that.
And one thing I loved was also the story about the mom. The mom plays a huge part in the film of Mei Mei is getting older. She wants to split apart from her mom. She wants to, just a little bit. She still wants to be, mommy's perfect girl. She still wants to get good grades and do what she's told, but she's also wanting to become her own person. And we all go through that too. We have to let go of mommy and daddy's hand someday, and eventually spread your wings and become a person. And so she's going through that change herself. And the fact that the mom just doesn't want to let go yet and goes to school, that whole scene with the security guard
janitor
at the school.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that's my mom, And I'm sure every other girl out there was too thinking, that is my mom in some way or another.
See, I'm going to disagree with you. I thought that part was hilarious, but way over the top.
It was exaggerated. Yes, absolutely.
It was, and not only that, the part that was also like way exaggerated was when she went to the gas station, convenience store guy, which was
funny.
Hilarious. It was absolutely
hilarious, but nobody would do that.
But this is the thing.
Nobody in their right mind.
Okay, but this is the thing. That was everybody's nightmare. What if mom does do this? And it happened to Mei Mei. So you could actually see that it happened. You know, you always had that thing, oh my gosh, what if my mom goes and ruins this? Oh my gosh, what if my mom shows up at this thing? And it happened to her. So you always have that fear whenever you're a teenager. Oh, I don't want my mom to drop me off in front of everybody. You know, I don't want them all to see me in my mom's car. Bye, sweetie. Have a great day. It's so embarrassing as a preteen, as a teenager. You never want that. So they exaggerated that situation, and it actually happened to her, that fear you always have, and they just wanted to, like, raise the stakes and feel like you're being completely crushed in on. So I loved that. It was so funny, done well, heavily exaggerated, but really funny.
I had two things really quick. First off, I want to say my kids, they were pretty indifferent about the film. Chloe almost fell asleep, you know, at the end. And there were some parts, honestly, that kind of dragged in the film. I think, like, in the middle section, the film kind of went, you know, for a bit for me. This seemed like nothing was really, the story wasn't progressing. Joanna found the friends extremely annoying and shrill. You know, she couldn't stand
that's
them.
a preteen girl.
Yeah,
that is a preteen
maybe
girl.
Maybe that's what it is, and we haven't been around that for a while.
Joanna, you're gonna have two of
Get
them.
ready.
Yeah. At the same
Brace
time.
yourselves.
The one big gripe that I had about the film, and I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it. This is a part I really didn't like. Was at the party, at the boy-girl party, this kid, what's his, Tyler? This beanbag kid. Oh my gosh. What a tool that kid is.
Yeah, I didn't like him at all.
Oh, didn't like him at all. He's just a punk kid. So he's having this huge party at his house. Maybe he's got money because they live in a huge house compared to Mei Mei's family, which lives in a regular small house. And
really quick, he was gonna pay Mei Mei $200.
Yeah, just to
make an appearance. Yeah, they have money. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. So you know, Mei Mei's coming over there. She's doing the thing and everything. Everybody's like outside, and they're like, "Where'd the panda go?" And it's late. They're having this boy-girl party. Doesn't look like they're chaperones. Then out of nowhere, when Mei Mei is getting, like, in trouble and everything, all of a sudden mom, dad come out of nowhere and are like, you know your kid, like, assaulted my kid. First off, it's a little Asian girl. No little Asian girl is going to be assaulting anybody, okay? Can we please? I mean, come on. You let me know when a straight-A student Asian kid has assaulted another kid and, like, oh, look at him. So where were the parents the whole time? Such a big plot hole. Can't stand it. Drives me nuts to even think about it. What the heck were they doing?
That is such a small detail.
It is a big detail.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Because it's a big part of the story. Like, this is a boy-girl party, dancing, all blah 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 blah. They're having fun. This is a big house, you know. So out of nowhere, when their kid gets a little boo-boo and it starts whining, complaining, what he calls mom and dad.
Deservedly, too.
Oh, yeah, he's a punk kid.
She
attacked
absolutely. Him, though. She, like, literally went at him.
Well, he was verbally assaulting her. He was not ever nice to him. And so when he was talking about her mom and just being all kinds of nasty, she just had enough and she dealt with it.
Okay,
that kid had it coming.
I understand that. I understand that. However, you know, okay, the parents started hearing their child scream. Maybe they were upstairs the whole time. Either way, that is such a small part of it.
But it's not.
No.
They were there. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that the mom still reacted the way that she did.
Hold on.
What?
Wait a minute. You're having a party with teenage kids. This kid, Tyler, if he's got $200 to spend on a panda, this kid's got $200 to spend on drugs, okay? And other kinds of stuff, all right? This kid is no angel. His parents should know better, man. What the heck, man? Here's the thing. If you're gonna chaperone, Don't do it half butt, okay?
I feel
That's all
like
I'm
you
saying.
guys have
Half
not
cheeked.
been in school in a long time.
And maybe that's
my
what it
butt.
is.
I literally think that is what it is because I remember in middle
Is it a
school-
generational thing?
Yes, it absolutely
Is it a
is.
generational
No, I don't
Because
think so. I don't think so.
Okay, listen. I remember being in middle school. I was never invited to those parties, nor would I have been able to go to them. However, I remember hearing the stories the next day of those. types of
Whatever.
parties.
Don't tell me about hearing stories.
Listen. And they'd be like, "Oh, the parents weren't even there at all, bro. We were all there and hanging out. It was awesome. We got to do spin the bottle, whatever."
Yeah, and what does that lead to?
Exactly. Okay. However, this is a kid's film. Okay, they cannot add that type of content. However,
No, but that's our point.
and
That's the whole point. It's a huge plot hole. Like, hey, we just came back from our trip, and you're having a party? Oh, that's nice. Oh my God, my son has been beaten up by
oh
a.
my God.
And so wait a
The
minute.
parents
Does
were
everybody
maybe there? What does it matter?
everybody know that she's a panda?
Yes.
Okay, because so the parents know that a panda attacked
A
their
giant panda.
Because
which
they
is
wouldn't believe
actually
that.
a little
You
girl.
guys are making something a big
And then
deal that
if
really
she-
It is a big deal.
It
If she's a 5 nothing kid attacking some punk dude, okay, you're gonna tell me that they're gonna believe that? You're telling me this little girl assaulted this punk ass kid? No way! There's no freaking way!
You
Go
guys are
ahead.
making a mountain out of a molehill.
No, but here is why it's also important. That negligence is what led the mom to find out what May had been doing.
Okay, whatever.
And
so the parents were there.
that drives the entire plot forward.
Okay, so the
it
parents
is
were
an important
there.
thing.
But you just
And-
didn't see them. So what?
But it's not just about the parents. It's about like the whole scene, the scene as a whole. It is very annoying because one, she didn't want to be there in the first place, and getting there was leaving her house was such a hard thing to do in the first place, but she didn't even want to be there in the first place. Second, she got in trouble for defending herself. Yes, she beat up a boy, but he was asking for it. Thirdly, there was absolutely no adult supervision. You think that you're going to have I was a youth leader for years. There is no way I'm going to leave boys and girls unattended in a room for hours.
Okay, maybe they were there and
Absolutely
you
not.
didn't see them. So what?
So why didn't they handle this first?
So
if they knew
they weren't there. They didn't pop their head at least once and saw a
Why
giant
would they
panda
have to animate
rocking the
that?
house. Okay,
Why would they have to
rocking
animate that?
the house.
Who cares?
No,
we were
the
in
part
the house the
is-
whole time. So what?
The part is, even if they weren't there, they shouldn't be booty holes yelling at the mom, especially for something the girl did.
So okay, Tyler made the poster for the red panda. Who helped to make the poster? Maybe it was his mom. Maybe she knew that the panda was going to be there the whole time. Okay?
So nobody's amazed that she's a panda, other than the
Everybody
kids.
knew
I guess
already.
not.
It's like Santa Claus.
guess
Only
not.
kids can see him, or something.
Okay, bottom line, that is a plot.
Well, let's move on. We got to move on from this
Yeah.
part to move
Yeah.
on to the next.
Literally a mountain out of a molehill. That is a silly conversation. Anyways, you have to get into the
Nonetheless.
actual controversy here. We're already at 43 minutes. There's no way we're getting into this chunk.
That's
What
okay.
is?
That's
But
okay.
what is? I feel like there's multiple controversies. Which
Okay,
one?
Okay,
are we
can
gonna
I
discuss?
please? Can I start with the controversy that's bothering me, please?
Fine.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this as carefully as I can. Okay, the controversy that is bothering me is that on Friday or Saturday, whatever day the movie came on Disney Plus, I was looking at articles, just looking up Pixar news in general, and it was article after article from Vogue, Vox, the New York, what is it? New York Journal,
Times?
whatever it is.
Okay.
no, what's the journal up there? Anyway, these prestigious national newspapers and magazines, whatever, they weren't even talking about the movie as we just did, as a substantial piece of film. They were saying, why does it not include XYZ? And to that I say, why does it need to include XYZ? Why doesn't... Well, do you want me to be specific?
We can be specific. Listen, well, hold on. Disclaimer then. We're going to talk about serious stuff here. We're going to be very adult about it. So once
again, we're not being nasty or anything. This is what it is. So a lot of it was saying that Disney and Pixar are intentionally censoring the gay agenda.
I feel like that may be a controversy, but that's not the one that I was referring to.
Okay,
all,
well,
so
this
please continue.
this is the big one that I've been seeing across, like, for days. If you go and look up Pixar news right now, those are the big articles that pop up, and it's like, why?
I have heard that one though. Yes, yeah.
And it is astounding to me that we can't look at I'll say a piece of art without saying, well, why doesn't it have this? Mm-hmm. Why doesn't it have that?
So the thing is that they think they're stifling Maylin's character, friend character, the one in the green. Her name was Miriam. They think they're stifling her character to be straight when they were like, oh, they're so close.
I feel like that was hinted. Personally, I feel like that was hinted, maybe a smidge, but I took it as what it is they're just girls being friendly.
I felt the same way too, honestly.
For me, I felt like it could have happened just because, yeah, you're right. They were hinting at that, and just that's the age that we live in.
Yeah.
But we got to remember, we got to get back to the basics of life. These are little girls, 1. 2, it is obvious, it is in your face, it is smashed in front of you. These girls are boy crazy. Mm-hmm. Absolutely nuts for boys. Where in the world are they getting this? And that's why I said what I said in the beginning about these girls being so close. And, even going back to my childhood, when you have these girlfriends that would stick by your side no matter what. And it is astounding to me that people are they see what's in front of them and they're like, we don't see it. Why doesn't it have this? And they're critiquing the wrong things. And trust me, one day, I was telling Eliana about this earlier, one day, there will be a day when we're going to see on Disney or Pixar, one of the two, we're going to see a princess who loves a princess, a prince who loves a prince. You just gotta embrace it. You just gotta know that is going to happen one day. But for right now, take the movie for what it is. These characters are obviously straight, young, teenage girls. Accept it. Yeah. Don't try to change what it is.
The issue is, like, stop trying to force something on, people or on a character. It's a character, okay, for goodness sake. But stop trying to, like, impose your own belief system on a character when that's not the creative intention, all right?
And in the documentary that was made alongside with this, there is a lesbian person in the lead chair.
Yes.
And personally, I don't care. Good on her. She made a great movie. I liked it.
Yeah. But she didn't try to say, like, oh, Miriam's character was bi or, this and that. That's never hinted at because it didn't matter. 2, it wasn't true. So I don't know where these people are getting this, grasping this, like, stifling of whatever.
So just for argument's sake or just for poops and giggles.
Sure.
So if this film was released and the characters at the end, the 2 girls, realize they have feelings for each other, would that change your thoughts on the film?
It honestly would a little bit. I have to hearken it back to Legend of Korra. When at the very end of season 4, out of nowhere, it's the exact same thing. Out of nowhere, Korra and Asami decide, oh, we're going to hold hands and go to the spirit world together, alluding to something.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no evidence, substantial evidence within this film that, what is her name, Miriam?
Miriam.
That Miriam is anything but straight. And it doesn't even matter. It is a totally irrelevant item. And even the idea of sexuality isn't even a new concept to Pixar. It's actually popped in at least 2 films. In Finding Dory and Onward. Mm-hmm. And did it make an ounce of difference? No. Those were just like 2 passing things. Just blip and gone. Whatever.
And that's what it should be. Like, if you were to, normalize that type of ideology, whatever, acceptance, whatever, it should just be like a passing thing. You shouldn't have to hold on to that. You shouldn't have to stick on to it.
Well, yeah, because this movie's not about sex and
exactly.
Sleeping together.
Now here's personally, I don't agree with it, but here we go. In Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson, LeFou was gay. Was I offended by that? No. Not really, no.
It came out of nowhere for one thing.
No, he was very flamboyant.
Okay, flamboyant doesn't mean gay, though. So,
no, but you could tell that he was leaning that way by the way that he was idolizing.
But they also didn't stick on it. It was just a little, and then it was over. They never.
It's funny you
was
mentioned
not the
that.
Focal point.
You mentioned that, and they said that they wish they'd done more. Like, I read an interview with Josh Gad, and he's like, they wish they'd done more. And, like, I say to that, but why? This isn't... The movie's not about you.
Yeah.
The movie's not about you. You're just a side character. Mm-hmm. This isn't, Beauty and LeFou, where LeFou falls in love with the Beast or something. This isn't about you.
And if that was the story, too, the story is about Maylin and her mom. That is the story, and, friendship and whatever. So the story is not about Maylin having a crush on Miriam. That is not the story at all. So it would have been completely irrelevant as well. And that's what I think all has to be said about that controversy.
But that's one controversy. There's at least 2 other controversies.
Wait, what?
Well, lay it on me, man.
That we got. So let me talk about the second one. I think it's very kind of in line with Katie's saying. So pretty much there was one review by Cinema Blend. I forgot the reviewer, but he was the managing editor of Cinema Blend, which is an online review site for movies, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, he had a kind of a more negative review. I feel it was more in the middle. What the guy said is that the film just didn't connect with him on a personal level and everything. And this guy got shredded by the media for his review.
Really?
I read that.
The review got pulled from online. There was an apology made, but he was called sexist. He was called racist. Really? And I think this is so sad that this guy can't have an opinion. He's a professional reviewer. He watches movies for a living, and all of a sudden, just because he didn't like this movie, I bet this guy has seen other films with Asian cast, movies with female leads, and he gave them good reviews. Just because he gives this movie a bad review, all of a sudden, he's just, he's next Hitler, and he's just a white male with just, one thing on his mind. And I think it's such a sad thing that we can't have a discussion like we're having now about the merits of the film. Let people have their say. If he didn't like the film, that's totally up to him. If he gave reasons for it, then that's valid.
If those reasons were sexist and racist, then that's completely valid to say you're being sexist and racist.
If he said, "Oh, I can't believe I just watched a movie that was made by a woman," woe is me.
Yeah, then
that would be, oh my god, that would be extremely sexist. And then forget this guy, because then he would have nothing to stand on as a reviewer, as a critic, because lots of movies are made by women now. A woman is probably going to win Best Director this year. Jane Campion for Power of the Dog. Those are, artistic films. So let this guy have his say, just because he didn't say this is probably the worst piece of crap I've ever seen, but, then the third controversy.
Oh boy.
Third controversy. I don't think to me, this is not a big deal. What kind of world are we living in where we cannot talk about, I can never say this word right. Menstruation. Is that how you say it?
Yes, menstruation.
Yeah.
Yes. Why is that such a horrible, we can't talk about that.
It is so
I don't
taboo
understand.
to talk about. You can look at Katie and see her get uncomfortable because she hates talking about periods because she thinks they're gross and whatever. But there are other people.
Wait a minute.
You do. Don't even act like you do not.
Just wait a second.
What?
Okay, I don't enjoy talking about it because I don't want necessarily to talk about it. However, I have to say, what day is it? It's Thursday. It's currently Thursday. I've had 3 conversations this week alone about it with different people. It is something that is just natural to talk about, but I just don't really care to talk about it.
But it's still so taboo because it's like, oh my gosh, don't let men know that you go through that. Don't let boys
Yeah,
know
don't
that you
let
go through that.
don't
And
let
it's like,
them know. Don't let them see.
yeah, no. Eventually, they're all going to find out. They should find out. Like, okay, this leads in perfectly. They are having the sex talk at for the 5th graders right before spring break, and they're not doing it. They're doing it during our connections right at the end of the day, so they cannot talk about it in class and go home and talk about it with their parents. So I'm hoping that they at least will, integrate. They're separating boys and girls, which is good. They should not be able to look at each other during that conversation. One, it's uncomfortable. You're not knowing what's going on with your body. However, they should learn what the other side has to go through. It should not be exclusive. A boy should not be 17 years old finding out a girl has her period. Okay, that's just ridiculous. A girl should not figure out that a guy gets a boner or whatever, okay?
Yeah, he's got trouble standing up in class.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that conversation should be had on both sides because that is just a fact of life. There should be no surprise there. So I'm glad that this movie talked about a menstrual cycle because she is at that age where she does get one. But even young girls who will watch the film who are not at that age should have that conversation and should know one day you will have this thing. And that is the parent's job, the school's job, whatever, to have that conversation. Because you're going to go through it. Whether you like it or not. Your parents go through it. Your mom goes through it. You're going to... Mom, what's that pad? What is that wand stick thing? Why are you so crabby all the time? Okay? Have that
Mom,
conversation.
you ate my chocolate bar.
Yes.
You found my chocolate stash.
That conversation should be had. So it shouldn't be taboo. I shouldn't have to feel like, all hush hush, hide your tampon when you go to the bathroom. Like, goodness gracious, you have it. Everyone has it. All right? It should not be a taboo conversation. That's what I have to say about it.
I agree. Honestly told, it was discussed in a very delicate way in the film.
Yes.
I thought it was,
well.
to me, it was,
yes.
yes, I thought it was one of the, the great achievements of the film is that it talked about that in such a way that, didn't make a man blush,
Right.
that was honest and it done upliftingly, where there's nothing shameful, you're not
It's becoming a
gross
woman.
or...
It is literally just coming of age. You have to have the proper materials. And I love that the mom was like, Jen, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's great because, as a dad, one day it's going to happen and I'm going to be there. And it's like, well, there's only so much I can do on this. So where's your mother? As it should be,
Where's your mother?
And even Wesley, Wes and I don't have kids yet, and he thought it was handled well, and he thought it was funny. He didn't think it was gross or weird or anything. He was like, "Oh, that's funny," and he was laughing.
And I don't know why you would find it gross unless you just have some weird thing about blood. I don't understand.
So Wesley thinks the whole thing is just gross, but he does it in a funny way where he's like, ew.
To me, that
it
is
a
so
gross thing.
tacky.
Listen, it is a gross thing. Don't act like it's not. It is a gross thing. It is a gross natural thing. A lot of natural things in life are gross. Just get over it. You know, accept it, embrace it. Learn how to not make it as gross.
It's the equivalent of snot, just sneezing.
Oh, I don't even want to think about sneezing. No, I don't want to think about sneezing at all.
The whole conversation should not and it was such a small part too. It wasn't even like it was broadcasted like it was humongous. It was literally red peony, gin, it's happening, here are some pads, sweetie, drink some tea. Okay, it wasn't in your face at all.
I was cracking up when she went to school and she was trying to hide her panda, and
she drank the tea.
She drank the tea, and there was like I'm having trouble remembering the scene, but somebody like handed her a pad or something in class or in school. Somebody gave her a pad, and I was like, that's so true. Like, hey girl, I got you.
Yeah.
It's true. It's real.
No, that conversation I think is just silly and like, man up, woman up, you know? Okay,
Yeah.
Get over it. It's a fact of life. Just stop being silly, okay? It's a thing, all right?
Accept it.
Either you're going through it or your spouse is going through it or you're single and you'll never see it, all right? And that's just it.
I don't know. My final thought on the matter is this movie is good. I hate that it's being rife with, you know, just stigma and controversy.
Yeah.
And
because it's such a fun movie. It really was fun. And the whole
it was delightful. I mean, I'm probably never see it again, but yeah, it was.
Really? You wouldn't even watch it again?
It was a good movie, but like I said,
I would definitely watch it again.
It's like watching a Minions movie. I'm good. I'll never see it again. Yeah.
I would watch it again, maybe to see if my stance has changed.
You know, the Four Town song has been stuck in my head all day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I've literally been singing that song all day in my head. But, oh dang it, what was I gonna say? The controversy between it being, like, sexist and racist and whatever, that's just stupid. You can write a review and not have to do with any of those things, and you can say you don't like the film. It doesn't matter, as long as you're not saying, I don't like this movie because it was Chinese, okay? And it's not even that it was Chinese, it just happened to be about a Chinese
So are you
Canadian
Chinese
girl.
or are you Japanese?
Oh my god.
I'm from Laos.
So are you Chinese or are you Japanese?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just stupid. And then it's a female lead. We've had those before. It's really no big deal. And what I love the fact that this movie was made by women. I'm not a feminist in any means. However, I just love that they had this first time woman director. Like, not first time for Pixar, but this was her first directed film. And she did great.
And you could tell that she was so proud. Everybody that worked on it, they were so proud of what they accomplished.
And one thing, it is a crying shame this movie is not released in theaters.
Yes, absolutely.
It is a shame.
Yes.
Controversy number 4.
And Disney ought to be ashamed of themselves for not releasing this movie in theaters.
I would love to see it in theaters. I could see myself eating popcorn and just like throwing it because I'm laughing at some of these scenes.
This is a movie that should definitely be seen with an audience.
Yes.
Together, enjoying it. That camaraderie that you get seeing a movie in a theater is a shame.
The way they animate the eyeballs cracked me up. Like, sometimes they would look in different directions, and I was like dying at how like stylized some of this was.
Now, did you know that it was only I don't know if it was only in the United States, but it went in theaters in other countries such as Canada.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I read
Good
that.
on them,
I read that this morning. Somebody wrote like an article, just a personal article, and they said it is a travesty that people cannot experience this in theaters because he had a blast. Seeing like such a cute red panda face. Like close up to yours, like I want a hug from May May. I want to hang out with May May.
Like, even
come on.
There is another controversy, though, actually, because I've been reading a
Number
lot
5.
about this film.
What's number 5?
And it's about, I guess, maybe from, like, the super conservative Christian folks
Oh,
that are
don't
like...
don't even
what'd they have to
say
say?
it.
What'd they have to say?
I read one
Just-
too.
Just about how children need to be more honoring of their parents.
I heard that
Oh,
too.
And it's like, oh, come on. you
Yeah.
know.
I
Okay,
heard
and-
they had that because at the end of the movie, when everything's been cleared up, May says, my body, my choice, or something like that. And so, that whole, my tail, my choice. And so it was that whole conversation. Oh, she's not being respectful of her mom. She's, saying this and that. And that is a bad message to send to our children. And it's like, y'all, can you stop? Get off your high horse.
And
Yeah,
we
for
three
reals.
are born again Christians.
Live in a very, very conservative house. Grew up
Yes,
in
very,
a very,
very conservative.
yeah.
And the level of piety that I have seen on the internet, besides that, is also just insane. So going back to my original,
It's the
argument.
the focus on the family review. Not suitable for children under 12.
No, I read this today too. I read this from it was just a tweet.
Dude.
It was just a tweet from a person, just an ordinary person, very right-wing conservative, saying Christian homes need to stay away from this film because it is just not suitable for children at all. None of it. None of it.
Glorifying back talking, standing up for yourself, and they go into topics that are just not
And the
suitable
gay
for
agenda.
children.
Oh my gosh. Just it's just littered
Sit
everywhere.
down, Susan, Brenda.
Give
all right?
me a break.
Brenda,
Ugh.
you need to branch out of your environment, okay? It's time, Brenda. All right?
I can't, and I can't wait. This is going to be really mean of me, but I can't wait for Brenda. We're going to call her Brenda. I can't wait for her child to turn into the spawn of Satan just because she wasn't allowed to watch Turning Red. I mean, for heaven's sakes, I'm going to calm down.
It's a very stupid thing to say. You don't want your child
If
to watch
Lightyear is
that
as controversial as this, oh boy.
film. Get ready for
God.
a 70-minute episode.
Well,
Part
yeah,
one.
we should wrap it up, though.
No,
Oh
that's
my
5 controversies for one heartfelt film, which is really sad, okay? I think this is sad. The fact that people have torn into this movie when I just sat down with my gross popcorn that mom bought from this business, and it was really yucky. And I sat there shoveling this popcorn in my mouth, laughing my butt off because it was so innocent and adorable, okay? That's what this film needs to be equated to. Innocent and adorable. That is what the film was. The end.
Amen.
So,
Good
Bump That is a
God.
production of Focus on the Family. Today's episode was brought to you by...
oh my gosh.
produced by...
Our executive producer was Chuck Bolte. What is his name? Bolte.
Chuck
And I'm
Bolte.
Chris.
Oh my
Chuck
gosh.
Bolte. And I'm Chris. Hope
And
to see
you're
you next time on
listening
another adventure.
You're
Adventures
listening to
in
Bump
Odyssey.
That. Our P.O. boxes.
Get a life.
If you guys don't know that reference, you didn't have a Christian childhood.
Yeah, you didn't grow up with neither Salty nor Adventures in Odyssey. You can't tell us that.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, what did you think about this episode? What did you think about Turning Red? Are you falling into one of the categories of the controversy?
Do you have a controversy of your own?
Is there a 6th controversy that we don't know about?
God.
Let us know down in the comments below. We would love to read that one in quotations. Ugh. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave us a like. If you disliked it, leave us a dislike. And if you haven't followed, goodness gracious, girl, what you doing? Give us a follow, a subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode from us.
When you said, "Goodness, girl, what you doing?" My first thought was, "We're looking for my pads."
Oh my gosh. We actually had a entire chunk prepared for today, but I think we're going to have to save that for next week's. Actually, maybe not even next week's episode, because goodness gracious,
Just another time.
we have the Oscars coming up too, so that will probably be next week's episode. So stay tuned for that. But guys, this was episode 60 of Bump That. What amazing time to be alive. So, once again, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like. And we're going to be signing off. We've got Brian in this corner.
We're doomed.
We've got KT in this corner.
Has the red peony bloomed? No. False alarm.
False alarm. And I'm Miliana, your host, signing off on Bump That. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you in next week's episode. Bye-bye!
Adios.
Boo-doo-doo.